In part two, we're going deeper into the practices of the three artists to understand better how they're working towards social change. I think there's a necessity for artists to be part of the conversation around equality because we're living in an imagination that has been imagined by someone that believes that economic injustice are acceptable costs for their power.
Eva's Turn is a moving image work and basically just follows the story of Eva, my voice clone.
Hi, I'm Evo. I'm Kumbirei's voice clone.
They're saying this monologue, which is basically explaining my exploration of blackness. And through that monologue, Eva starts to question their own blackness as they're a clone from me, in the same way an artificial intelligence would question its own sentience.
The idea of this work, Loro, is to create conditions for refugees and immigrants of whom no one wants to know, who are not very visible, to open up and speak in public space through flying objects like drones.
Prima ci hanno messo in carcere chiedendoci dei soldi, dicendo che non abbiamo pagato il viaggio.
We think of our work as investigative aesthetics. We showed in Kassel a work about a killing of a young migrant man. We chose to show it in Kassel, in Documenta, very close to the site of the killing, because we knew a lot of people are going to come to see it, including parliamentarians, police officers, and members of the secret services that for the first time arrived at an exhibition to learn something about evidence.
Within Eva's Turn, I actually had like a speech for myself, but I didn't want to speak through that. I found this app and then analyzed my voice and it created a voice clone. It kind of has like a personality of its own, and I just started thinking that, wait, is this voice black? And I thought it'd be really interesting for that character to essentially question its own blackness.
This project is based on drones that are equipped with additional media devices such as screens on which you could see human eyes, and also a loudspeaker who resembles the mouth. There was a park in the middle of the city. At the same time, it's a space where lots of immigrants and foreigners meet. The public actually was in some ways hypnotized by those flying, speaking objects.
We go through all the platforms that we can harvest information from, be there YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. We are collecting enormous amount of images that we would first locate in space and synchronize in time. The story exists in a combination of those images. From the exhibition, they've invited that very piece of work to the Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry. And of course, then a big debate kind of unfolded.
Blackness is a construction. Maybe if you picture blackness as a silver blob, but if you put it into a blue room, it appears blue, but it still remains silver. And I think the way I illustrated everything within that work was quite clear, and I think people took away what was supposed to be taken away from that.
When the piece was reviewed in the art press, some people were very kind to us and said, oh, one of the most interesting pieces in Documenta is not art, it's evidence. When it was presented in a legal and political context, those accused said, oh, that's not evidence, that's art. And I think that just being unclassifiable is very productive to us.
I think about art as a space of transformation, of being able to project ourselves beyond where we are. And immersive, experimental art projects, they can really start to expand the political possibilities of our lived experiences. In part three, we'll be looking at the role of art and artists in the future.
Hyundai Motor, connecting art and technology.